My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Boiling Point. And this is a movie that I didn't hear all that much about. I heard great things, and that it was a kind of like Uncut Gems, but in a restaurant. And that was enough to get my attention. I rented it for 99 cents, and I'm glad I did, because this is a good movie. I love how it captures certain aspects of a job, but really could apply to any job, like the rude customers, the miscommunication, the bickering within coworkers. It really does capture that side of it really well, and it just captures the restaurant side of it too so perfectly. Like, I've never worked in a restaurant, but because of this movie, I feel like I have a sense of what it's like to work in that environment, and that says a lot. Like, this movie is one take, it's one singular take, and it's absolutely seamless. And it doesn't just give the movie a nice flow, helps build the chaotic feel of it all, but it's handled in such a seamless fashion. Like, honestly, it's done so well that there's moments where I'm watching this that I'm just like, how did they do that? Like, did they actually just film this entire 90-minute long movie in one take? Like, how did they do this? The blocking of this movie is impeccable because we see people walk past certain tables with people at it so many times, and it's always the same people. One, like, it could be at the 30-minute mark, they walk by someone and they've got a menu, they walk by them 20 minutes later and they're drinking and they're getting served their food, and it just feels all incredibly real. So I have to give credit to the director, who is named Philip Berentini, because I truly believe that this was some of the best directing of 2021. Just phenomenal job by that director. I thought the entire cast did a really great job. Everyone had defined personalities that allowed them to stand out. And I just like the fact that it focuses on all these different characters throughout this one night. It's, like I said, the entire plot of this movie is these people working at a restaurant. That's it. You know, there's people making food, they're dealing with customers. There's this one rude customer. There's one guy who tells them that his girlfriend has a nut allergy. There are some people who are trying to get free food because they're an influencer. There's just all these different customers, and it focuses on them as the restaurant's cutting up and cooking the food and serving it. And it may not sound like the most exciting movie, but I was locked in. Like, this is a movie that really held my attention incredibly well. My only issue with this movie, and well, my only two issues with this movie, and it is two fairly big issues, is the first one is that the main chef, he has a friend who's eating at the restaurant, and anytime he sits down to talk to him, I didn't really care about these conversations. And then the other thing I didn't like about this movie was the entire last act. It takes a tone, and I'm okay with the tone it took, but then the way it impacted the movie from that point forward, like, it did feel realistic, to be fair, but then it kind of shy away from what I liked about the movie, about capturing this job so perfectly, and it started focusing on this one character and tried to give him some sense of an arc, and it just did not work for me. It fell flat. His character arc didn't resonate with me in any way. And it's just like, up until this point, there was really no main character. Like, yes, this is the character that we see in the very first scene, but the great thing about this movie is that you're spending time with this entire staff. And for them just to kind of give that up, focus on one character, and try to make it depressing in the last 20 minutes, it just didn't work for me. It didn't give me what I liked about this movie. I don't think the character work was actually good. It didn't hit those emotional notes it tried to. So the last act really didn't work for me. But the first two acts really did work for me. Up until the point where, if they nailed that last act, this could have been one of my favorite movies of 2021. I like the first two acts that much. And like, nothing happens. It's just people working at a restaurant, but I was entertained. I was locked in. I felt the stress they were feeling. I like the small little character moments planted throughout. And it's just the director made this small restaurant feel so, and each person working at it, visiting it, just feels so lived in, and that is an impressive feat all by itself. I wish the last act was a bit better, but I'm still going to give this movie a 6.5 out of 10.